What is going on, everybody? TGIF, happy Friday. It's Kentucky Derby weekend. We're going to be talking about the Kentucky Derby today on the Daily Wager here on Casino Gaming TV with your boy, Chris, Dice Degen. And what's going on, Nemo? The intro, yes. That song is from you, brother. That song is from you. You gave me that one. So, yeah, we are going to be discussing the Derby today. One of my favorite sports events of the whole year. I love me some horses, love me some ponies, and love to just chat on the Kentucky Derby. So, thank you, John. What's going on, boss? You like the hat? I had to get festive. I had to get festive for my Kentucky Derby that's coming up this weekend. So let's talk about it. All right, let's talk about the Derby. We'll get into. I'm gonna go break it down for you. I'm going to go over what the sports betting on horses looks like. And then also going to break down each of the horses and give you, their odds, who the jockey is, the trainer, some recent stats on the horses, things I like, things I don't like. And then I will give you my picks at the end. What I will say with the horses, with the picks, is that it's on the slide, but don't place the horse bets yet. There still could be some scratches coming late. There could be some extra news that comes out overnight, early tomorrow morning into the afternoon. So I'm a firm believer in waiting until almost the end to hit the horses. So just keep that in mind. What's going on, Fuzzy? How are you? All right. Let's pop into the discussion. All right, you guys already know what's going on with this stuff. So today, obviously, we're going to be talking about the horses, Kentucky Derby. So May 6th, a.k.a. tomorrow at Churchill Downs. For anyone wondering, it'll be on NBC at 6:57 p.m. Don't join at 7 o'clock. You will miss it. All right, it's a quick race. So get in front of the TV at like 6:50. Get your bet slips in hand and be ready to gallop with the horses. All right, but 6:57 on NBC. It is a 1.25 mile length track. All right. You may be asking me, why does that matter? Well, we'll get into it in a bit, but some horses run their early races on shorter tracks. Some are not conditioned enough to run and maintain a pace at that 1.25 miles. So we'll discuss that. And yes, most exciting 2 minutes in sports is correct. Definitely the most exciting 2 minutes in sports. I'm not going to comment on other 2-minute drills that happen, but it's a good one. The weather tomorrow, the weather's supposed to be relatively nice most of the day. There is a chance of rain. Now, why does that matter? Well, the race is outside, and some horses do not run well in messy tracks, muddy tracks. All right, but it shouldn't be too much of a factor. If it is, that's also why the picks may change a tad. So that's why I'm saying don't bet the horses today. Wait till tomorrow. All right. Because if there is weather that comes through, you can never count on the meteorologists, right? Sometimes they'll say it's not raining outside. You walk outside, you get wet. I'm sitting there like, that must be the easiest job in the world. Anyway, so yeah, just wait on that and we'll discuss it. But let's talk about how to bet the horses. All right. First thing, the racetrack. This seems very, very simple, but it can be missed. All right. Make sure you're betting on the right race. Okay. Make sure you are betting on the Kentucky Derby race, but not the other races that are happening that day at the same track. Okay. Make sure you're betting on the main race. So make sure you have the right one. Okay. The other thing with horse betting is that the odds are never set until those gates open. Okay. So the odds can be changing the entire time until those gates open, then they're finally closed. All right. So I have the odds on the screen and on my slides coming up, but those could change. They may have changed since I put them together. I put it together this morning to try to get the best lines that I could, but they're going to change throughout the day today. They're going to change throughout the morning tomorrow and all the way up until race time. All right. So the reason the odds move is because it depends on the amount of money coming in. Right? So if there's a lot of money coming in on certain horses, the odds are going to move up and down based off of that. All right? And yes, thank you, John. Race 12, that's the one you have to bet on. All right? Don't bet on race 1. Don't bet on race 2. I mean, unless you want to, but the picks I'm giving out and the horses I'm talking about, race 12. All right. And when you do bet horses, right, know what their number is, so their post position, okay? Yes, they'll have the names displayed, but when you go to actually place the bet, you're not going to see, like, horse, like, let's say the horses' names are degen, degen 1, and degen 2. You're not going to see your ticket display as degen 1, degen, and then degen 2. All right, you're going to see it as 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, or 3, 1, 2, whatever it is like that. All right, so know their numbers, know their post position numbers, because that's what you're going to see on the ticket. Okay, and I will give you all their post position numbers in this show, and if anything changes, obviously you can look at it up until race time. Ooh, sweet. You're going to the track tomorrow. That's going to be awesome. I'm jealous. I will be watching it here in the dungeon. We'll be having some people over. I will be house hunting in the morning, but then I told my realtor I need to be home by 4 o'clock, and she goes, why 4 o'clock? I said, because I have to get mentally prepared to watch the race, because I'm one of those people who I stay on the couch for the first, like, quarter mile to half mile. Once they hit that half mile mark, I'm starting to lean forward on the couch. They hit that 3/4 mile mark, into that mile mark, I'm up on my feet. I'm cheering my horse on. I'm sitting there cracking a whip. I'm like, let's go. Gallop. Faster. All right. So yeah, that's me. But yeah, know your bet numbers, or know your position numbers. Craig, funny. No, I'm kidding. House hunting. Yes, house hunting. Priorities, Craig, priorities. I went table hunting, now I'm house hunting. All right. What was I going to say there? I was going to say something else about the thing. Jen likes my hat. Thank you. I had to get festive. I'll be wearing it tomorrow too, by the way. And also, I'm going to have girlfriend Degen take some videos of me tomorrow. Or if not, I'll just set my camera up on a tripod and I'll record myself during the race. And you guys can see what happens. I'll show it to you on Monday during the show. All right. I went over this. Continuing with the how to bet horses, okay? It's not like normal sports betting for the most part, all right? It's a little bit different. Again, I already told you have to know your post numbers for the horses, all right? So there's a couple different bets you can place, all right? The most simple is to win, all right? That horse must win the race. What's going on, Jay? So, yeah, the horse, if you're going to bet the horse to win, they must win. The odds you see displayed for the horse, that is their odds to win, okay? So if you have a horse at 10-1 odds and you place $1 on that bet, you're going to win back 10 if they win. If they don't win, you lose, all right? So the first bet is the win. They must win the race. The second one is the place. The horse must come in first or second. No other place matters. They have to come in first or second. But the odds you see on the horse, so like if I'm using that 10-1 example, okay, you're not going to get 10-1 on the place bet because that's the win bet. So if you're going to take first or second, the odds are going to drop a little bit. All right, I don't know what the odds would be exactly. It depends on what the bets look like. It may be 5-1. It may be 4-1. I don't know. All right, it depends on what the odds are looking like at the time. Now, there's another bet which is called the show bet. All right, that is the horse to come in first, second, or third. Doesn't matter which place they place in there. If they come in first, you win. If they come in second, you win. If they come in third, you win. All right, that's going to have the worst odds of those three and the worst odds of pretty much any bet on the horse track. I'm not saying it's a bad bet. I'm just saying your odds are going to be decreased. That 10-1 might be more like 2-1 or even 1-1. All right. So just keep that in mind. That is show is you're betting on the horse to come in first, second, or third. Okay, you're basically picking 3 spots that it could come in. Then we have what's called an exacta. All right, the exacta is 2 horses. You're picking 2 of them. All right, and that's to come in first and second. All right, if they don't come in first and second, you lose. If one horse comes in first and the other one doesn't come in second, you lose. Okay. The trifecta is similar to the exacta, but tries in front of it for 3. You're picking 3 horses to come in 1, 2, and 3. All right. Again, same premise follows. If you pick 3 horses and 2 of them come in 1 and 2, but the other one comes in 8th, you lose the bet. All right. Now, these bets are going to have much better odds because you're picking the exact placement of 3 different horses. Okay. The superfecta. The superfecta is going to be 4 horses that you pick coming in first, second, third, and fourth. Same logic applies. If one of those horses doesn't finish in the top 4, you're going to lose that bet. All right. But the odds on that are going to be very nice. Okay? The odds on that are going to be very nice. Hard to hit, but you can hit it. All right? And the one thing I want to say, and it's going to bring me into what you guys are talking about right here, right? So Navaldo said he uses the app to bet the Exacta box. I'm a big Exacta box fan, which is the same thing as a Quinella. It's an Exacta box, exact same thing. What a box is, all right, is you're taking the bets, and they can be in any order, all right? So let's say you're betting an Exacta, all right, and you're taking the 5 horse and the 10 horse. What the Exacta box or the Quinella would be there is you're betting 2 different bets. One is going to be the 5 finishes first, the 10 finishes second, and you're also going to be betting the 10 finishes first and the 5 finishes second. All right, so that's why I have down here box your bets. I'm a big believer in boxing your bets on these things because it's really hard to pick, obviously, who's coming in first, second, third, right? But if you box your bets on those kind of things, you get all the combinations of those 3 horses or those 2 horses or those 4 horses. All right, just keep that in mind. So make sure you box your bets when you're placing the horse bets because there's nothing worse than betting on, let's say you want to take the Exacta on the 5 horse and the 10 horse, but they ended up finishing at 10 and 5, right? Nothing worse because you had the 2 horses. It would have cost you another whatever bet amount you're putting on it, right? Generally speaking, on any of these, so I'll break down my bet levels in a second, but make sure you box your bets, okay? Now, in terms of bet leveling, all right, horse betting isn't something you're going to go out there and throw hundreds of dollars on unless you have hundreds of thousands of dollars to back it up, okay? If you have like $100 that you're betting on this, or even if you're betting, 25 or whatever your betting levels are, the Exactas I would keep at like $1 if that's what your bet levels are. The trifectas, if you want to make them $1, you can, but you can go down to 50 cents. The superfectas, I'd keep it 50 cents. To win, to place, or to show, you could put a little bit more money on it because the payouts aren't going to be as good. All right. But what I am a believer in and what I did last year, right? So I had my Exactas all planned out. I had my trifectas and I had my supers. I'm an idiot, though, because I had Lucky Strike to win last year. I placed Lucky Strike to win outright. Didn't put Lucky Strike in any of my Exactas, my trifectas, or my superfectas. Was I kicking myself? Oh, yeah, I was kicking myself. All right, I still won because I had Lucky Strike to win outright, but I had the other horses in all my other bets, okay? So the thing with this, though, is when you start making these Exactas and these trifectas and stuff, the reason why you keep your bet level low is for this reason right here, all right? So when you place those bets, right, let's say you take a trifecta, so 3 horses, but let's say you want to put 4 horses in it and you're going to box it, right? It's going to come up with all those different combinations, and your 50-cent bet is going to be multiplied by, 12? 12 combinations, I think. Maybe more. I don't know. Whatever. But you're going to place 50 cents on each of those, okay? So make sure you understand that each bet is going to be whatever the bet level is. And if you're looking for somewhere to bet horses, my personal favorite in Pennsylvania to bet horses is Twin Spires because they make it pretty easy for you. You can also use like FanDuel and other things. They're a little bit more complicated though. I like a Twin Spires personally. If you have other horse racing books, you can put them in chat. But I personally use Twin Spires. Okay? All right. Enough about talking about how do we place the bets. Let's talk about the horses. All right. Let's talk about the horses. So I have the horse name, the post position, the odds as of this kind of morning, a picture of the horse, and I'm going to give you my notes. I have them on a separate screen here, and we're going to go over it. All right, so Hit Show, 36-1 as of this morning-ish. Interesting horse, okay? The jockey for tomorrow is going to be Manny Franco. with Brad Cox as the trainer. He's been a trainer for a long time. This horse's career, 5 starts, 3 wins, 1 second place. Okay, so it's placed in 4 of its 5 races, but it's the races that it's raced in. They haven't been very, very high level. They've been obviously qualifying for the Derby, but they haven't been super high races. The one problem with this horse that I do have is the post position. All right, so for those of you who don't know, the 1 post is right on the rail. Okay, so that horse is going to be up against the rail coming out of the 1 spot going around the track, right? So if this horse, Hit Show, if they can get out early, okay, the horse has a good chance, okay? But being on the rail is tough. If you get some horses that box you in, it's very hard to get off that rail. And what happens is, to get off the rail, you're going to have to go outside and swing around. It's a lot of steps for the horse for one, but it's a lot of speed that gets diminished going outside to come all the way back inside. All right, so if that horse can get out early, look for the horse to have a good race. The problem, like I said, is that it's up against the rail, okay? And if you care, the speed figure for this horse is about a 99, middle of the pack-ish. But Jay put it in here, right? The rail is historically hard to get off of. And there's some good quick horses in the 2, 3, and 4 spots that could jump out early and put Hit Show at a disadvantage getting off that rail. And again, historically speaking, very hard to win off the rail. All right. There's my main comments on that horse. The horse is raced in some shorter races, not much shorter, a mile and an eighth. But if the horse gets out early, I like this horse. But if it doesn't get out early, they're in trouble. But yeah, John put a good point in here. Brad Cox is a legendary trainer, very good trainer. And we'll see what happens. But Franco's a pretty good jockey as well. But the trainer's definitely good. Like I said, the major downside is the positioning on the rail. Very, very tough spot to get out of. All right. Next horse is Verifying. Okay. Verifying is another Brad Cox horse. All right. So Brad Cox is in the 1 and the 2 with Tyler Gaffalione on the jockey. All right. On the reins. Very good jockey. This horse had 6 races, okay, 2 wins, 2 second places, and then 2 non-place finishes. All right. In terms of a speed figure here, we're looking at a 102 on the speed figure. Quick. This is why I'm saying Hit Show might have a problem, because this horse is right next to the Hit Show coming out of the gate, and statistically speaking, Verifying is quicker out of the gate than Hit Show is. So this is what I'm saying with Hit Show could get put up against the rail pretty quickly and then end up having to try to come outside or try to come up the rail, which is going to be very, very hard. All right. But Verifying has a very, very good history and a good pedigree. Okay. But the race-wise hasn't been great as of late. Okay. Does have a lot of speed though. And the thing that benefits this horse is the speed and the ability to keep that speed for a long duration of time. But the thing is, the jockey, Gaffalione, keep chirping up over his name. I want to add an L in there. Gaffalione is going to try to use that speed to get out early. At least that's what I would do, right? If I was a jockey, I'm too big to be a jockey though. But if I was a jockey, right, I would want to use Verifying speed to get out nice and early. And the thing is, though, that this horse doesn't run super well when it has the lead from the start. Okay? But there's my thoughts on Verifying. 2 fills. Interesting horse here. In the three post, you got the jockey is Jareth Loveberry, and the trainer's Larry Ravelli. Career record-wise, we're looking at 8 starts, 4 wins, 1 second, 1 third, and then 2 non-place finishes. Speed figure's a little bit low here, though. It's at a 97. It's in the bottom half of the horses competing. And just as a side note here, I'll be honest with you, this year's horse category is meh. It's not great. All right, the level of competition here, it's good, but it's not great. There's been many better years with a lot of top horses. This year, it's subpar if you ask me. Um, but so this horse here, I see some people who like this horse. I'm not a huge fan of Two Fills. I think Two Fills you may see early out there. Maybe up in the top in the beginning, but I think this horse is going to fade back pretty quickly. And you know, it is what it is. But the one interesting fact here is that this horse has raced at a few similar tracks, not obviously at the Kentucky Derby, but it has raced at a few similar tracks with the same jockey. And it's had this jockey's been on this horse, so it knows the horse very, very well. So that is one positive for this horse. But personally speaking, not a big fan of Two Fills. But, you can take it or you can leave it there. Next horse in the 4. Why are my things not switching? All right, Confidence Game. In the 4, jockey's James Graham, and the trainer is Keith Desiramo. Which one, John? Confidence Game or Two Fills is one of your picks? Confidence Game. So 7 starts, 3 wins, 1 second, 2 thirds. Okay, so only one of the races that Confidence Game has been in is not a place finish. Everything else they have placed and everything. In terms of the speed, this horse has one of the quicker speed figures at 104, and this horse has an interesting fact. So a lot of the Derby winners have competed within like a month and a half of in a time window. And this horse did. So I like Confidence Game here a little bit. Has some good race history. All right. And the thing is that this horse is pretty patient. Okay. And it's definitely fresh coming out because it hasn't raced in over a month and a half. All right. Hasn't had to. Got enough points to qualify for the Derby and kind of been resting since. So I think this horse does have a chance. Confidence Game is one that I do like. And the trainer here has had a couple horses finish decently in the Derby, with most notably Exaggerator in 2016, who finished second in the Derby and then won the Preakness the following 2 weeks later. So Desoro. Oh, whatever. I don't care. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I'll get his name right eventually. Anyway, Confidence Game. Look for Confidence Game. This is a horse that I'm going to be watching in the morning, though, to see what the horse is looking like in the stables. So, yeah. No. I don't know. All right. All right. Now we're talking about one of the favorites here. All right. One of the favorites, Tapit Trice, 5-1. This is one of my favorites here. All right, I'll tell you right now, one of my favorite picks in this race, Tapit Trice. Jockey is Luis Saez, historically a very good jockey, lots of good finishes. Todd Pletcher is the trainer, very good trainer as well. This horse has had 5 total starts, 4 wins, 1 third place. So it's placed in every single one of its races. And his speed figure is a 103, so quite the good speed figure there. Coming off a 4-race win streak. So in the past 4 races, Tapit Trice has won each of those races. And expect these odds to probably drop a little bit. All right. This is going to be a pretty big betting favorite among the public especially. But the thing is that this horse has a very, very good jockey. Saez is, like I said before, historically a very, very good jockey, able to navigate quite a few different positionings and things like that. So I like Tapit Trice here quite a bit. The other thing here is that Tapit Trice has raced in a couple miles or a couple races that have been 1.25 miles in the past, and has had great stamina in those races. All right. The last race Tapit Trice was in was 1.25 miles, so same length as the Kentucky Derby. And actually, Tapit Trice was put out, got kind of squeezed out from the beginning, and Saez came, held the pace pretty well, and then exploded out and was able to maintain that pace through the finish line. All right, so Tapit Trice is one of my favorites. John, yes, Cox and Pletcher are definitely two very, very good trainers. Back in the day, Baffert was also a very good trainer. Obviously, he's suspended through this summer, the 2023 summer. He's not allowed to enter any horses. But, yeah, those are great guys. Novaldo, I appreciate you. Thank you very much. You guys are too kind. Too kind. All right. Degen is high on Tapit Trice. Let me tell you that. All right. Next up in the 6th spot, we got Kingsbarns at 12-1-ish right now. I've seen it a couple different spots, a little bit different. Jockey is Jose Ortiz. This is another Todd Pletcher horse. All right, so another good horse here with a good trainer. But personally speaking, I like Tapit Trice from Pletcher over Kingsbarns, but good horse as well. This horse, 3 starts, 3 wins. All right, hasn't lost a race that it's been in yet. The speed figure here is 100. All right, so it's about middle of the pack type speed figure. The thing with this horse is, and this is one of the reasons why I'm not a huge fan of Kingsbarns. All right, the reason why is because this horse, the style of running is they like to be the pace setter. They like to press the pace. All right, that's the classification of what kind of horse this is. So the other 5 that I've been talking about so far are considered stalkers, which means that they like to sit in the pack and then make their move, right? Kingsbarn is more of likes to be out in the lead early, which I think is going to be the problem because I think is going to set the pace early. Look for Kingsbarns to be up leading that pack pretty early. I do think the horse fades in that last quarter mile though. All right, so, that's just my 2 cents on it from what I've seen in some of the other splits and stuff that I've done. So I don't have them up on the screen because it's way too in-depth and I'm not going to go super into it. But what I do is when I'm looking at the horses, I actually break down their split times per 1/8 of a mile and per 1/4 of a mile in their past races. And Kingsbarns is one of those that starts to fade at the end of the race, so that last 1/4 mile starts to fade a bit. So when you make the track a tad longer, look for Kingsbarns at that almost like 3/4 to a mile range. Look for Kingsbarns to start fading a tad and let those stalkers come through because it's just what the horse does. So just my 2 cents on that. But, if you don't believe me, do what you want. In the 7th spot, we got Reincarnate, all right? This is an interesting one. I've seen it at 16-1. I've seen it at 50-1. It opened at 50-1. It's been bouncing around. This morning when I looked, it was at 16-1, so there must be some money coming in on this horse. But I can tell you why this is going to be a popular pick. I'll tell you why in a second. John Velasquez is the jockey here. Again, historically a very good jockey. Tim Yakteen, however you want to say his name, is the trainer for this horse. Now, why does that matter? Well, what's it called? This horse was taken over by Yakteen from Baffert. All right, so this is a Bob Baffert horse, but since Baffert is suspended through the 2023 season, this is why this horse is now under Tim Yakteen. So it is a previously Baffert trained horse. This is why you're going to see a lot of people getting up on this horse. Has a very, very good speed figure at 103. All right. Start wise, 7 career starts, 2 wins, 3 seconds, 2/3. So in all of this horse's races, they have come in either 1, 2, or 3. So good stats behind the horse. Here's another reason. Here's another horse that is another quick start horse. All right. They like to press the pace. They like to be in the lead early. And again, this is another reason why I'm not a huge fan of this horse. I'm not a fan of pace setters in longer races, okay? The horse hasn't done anything in 1.25 mile races this year. However, the pace might be too much, but I don't think it will be. I think the pack's going to keep him close, and I do think that this horse will fade. However, John put it up here that this is his jockey. Velasquez is an absolute unit with the reins. All right, he's an incredible jockey. Historically, he's been absolutely phenomenal. And if anybody can get this horse to get out early and keep the pace, it would be John Velasquez. All right, but you know, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of the pace setters. The other thing with this horse is it's raced against a couple other horses that are in this Derby in previous races, in shorter races, and has lost. It's another instance of was out in the lead early and then started to fade towards the end. And this is a longer track, so I do think they will fade at some point. So not one of my favorites. All right. In the 8th spot, we got Mage. All right. Mage at 16-1, 15-1, depending where you're looking at it. Javier Castellano is the jockey here. Gustavo Delgado is the trainer. This horse has had 3 career starts, 1 win, 1 second place, and has a good speed figure, has a 102. This is a horse that I'm keeping my eye on very, very closely. Okay, I'm going to tell you that from the start. The reason why is this horse has a good speed figure at 102 and is a stalker type horse. So it's not going to be one of those horses that's jumping out to the early lead. All right, and Castellano is a very good jockey as well, who will, keep him back and then press when needs to be pressed. So I'm looking for this race to do pretty well. Solid. Any horses from the bloodline from Secretariat? I do not think so. I can check. I don't think so, though. I don't think so. Don't quote me on that, but I don't think so. So this horse is, if you want to talk about bloodlines here, this horse is, so Good Magic is the mother of this horse, who was a runner-up in the Kentucky Derby a couple years ago. And the one thing with this horse is the stamina level of this horse is amazing. All right, so this is why I like Mage quite a bit here, and that's why I'm going to be watching throughout the morning to see how the horse is looking. Because this is another aspect that a lot of people don't factor in, is watching what the horses are looking like, how their prep is going, how they're walking, and things like that. This is also why the odds change throughout, because people come and place late bets. But this horse does have a good chance to actually win this potentially because of the stamina factor that this horse does have. And, I mean, let's be honest. That's just a gorgeous horse. Beautiful little horse there. All right. I just got a notice here. Very interesting. I just got a notice. Now I gotta look. See, this is what I'm saying. This stuff changes by the minute. Wow. Okay. Well, just looked at it. This was one of my favorite horses in the race. Skinner was one of my favorite horses in the race, and I just saw a notification come across my my phone here that this horse is going to be scratched from the Derby due to the elevated temperature. Must have close to a fever. All right, so this horse is scratched. Not going to spend a ton of time on this, but this was one of my favorite horses coming into this race. Great speed factor, and the thing with this horse is their horse is known to be a closer, so that's why I liked it in this race, because stamina built up with a great closing history makes for a very good pick in the Derby. So this was one of my favorite picks, but I mean, as of I'm looking at it now. Horse is scratched. All right. Well, see, this is why I say not to bet on the horses, because they can be scratched up until tomorrow. You place the bets tomorrow. All right, I'm gonna have to get over my my sadness from Skinner now, because Skinner was one of my favorites. All right. What's going on, Jim? How are you? All right, next horse. because I'm gonna get off my my scratched one there. The next horse we're going to talk about is Disarm. So you're gonna see here. There's a jump in post position, right? So here's the 9, right, and then we're going to 11. Why? Well, Practical Move was scratched earlier in the week, which was one of my favorite horses in this race as well. I was very high on Practical Move coming into as of last week, and then it happens. All right. So again, I'm going to say it now, and I'm going to say it again at the end. I will post my picks for the horses in Discord tomorrow. Okay. So if there's any more scratches or anything like that, I will be sure to let you know who I like. If you want, I can rank the entire field, but I will post who I like and who I'm personally betting on tomorrow. But Practical Move was one of my favorite horses. Unbelievable speed, unbelievable stamina, but don't have the option to bet on it. Yeah, the field is definitely getting smaller. Just about to ask, yeah. So this is the thing, right? There could definitely be scratches throughout, and this is why in the beginning I was saying not to place any of these bets beforehand, because horses can be scratched very, very quickly, right? We've seen now 4 horses scratched in the past couple days. 3 were scratched yesterday. Now 1 early this morning was scratched. So now we're down 5 horses now. So we've already pulled in the reserves. So now the field is just getting smaller. All right. There you go, Solly. John knows better than I do. 8 Secretary descendants are in the Kentucky Derby field. Boom. All right, let's go to Disarm. Disarm, we got the trainer is Steve Asmussen. All right, the jockey is Joel Rosario. Career record-wise, we're looking at 5 starts and placing in all 5 starts. 1 win, 2 seconds, and 2 thirds. Low speed figure here, though, and this is why this horse is not one of my favorites for this reason. All right, historically speaking, the horse has not run very, very quick time splits, which makes me not like this horse a ton to bet on for the reason that, it's a long race, and if we're not keeping a good speed through shorter races, definitely not keeping a good speed through that 1.25 miles, okay? So not going to spend a ton of time on here, but not a big fan of this horse. Has come through a couple decent races, but nothing great. So yeah, don't love this one. All right, Jaces Road. This is another one this is an interesting one to me. All right, because the odds are super long here for this horse. Oh, all right, yeah. You see, my thing with the horses, right, are I don't really look at bloodlines, or I don't really look at I'll look at parents maybe, but I don't look a ton at bloodlines because each horse, a lot of these horses are coming from good bloodlines, obviously, and I look at past performance because I think past performance is an indicator of future performance, all right, especially in these kind of races. So my main thing that I care about is actually split times at these 1/8 of a mile increments and 1/4 mile increments. That's what I care about. So I will literally watch the races that they've competed in and get their time splits from it, and then use that to determine who I like for horses and stuff. Yes, Biff. Skinner, Confidence Game, Lord Miles, Verifying, Jaces Road, Raising Kane, and Forte. Well, Skinner and Lord Miles are out now, so yeah. But yes, post time is 6:57. Yep. All right, Jaces Road. This is a very interesting one because Florian Giroux is the jockey. It's a Brad Cox horse again. 6 starts, 2 wins, 2 third places. And then the speed figure here is a 101, and this is a horse that likes to get out and press the pace early on. All right, so interesting here, but I don't know. This one is not too good for me because of that reason. All right, it likes to get out nice and early, but the other main concern for me here is this horse has performed terribly in messy conditions. All right, so in those muddy tracks, this horse is absolutely awful. Okay, the thing with that is, I told you there's a chance of rain tomorrow. All right, if it doesn't rain tomorrow, you may see degen sprinkling some money on this horse. If it does rain in Kentucky tomorrow, I have people down there. I'm not even kidding. I have friends going. I'm going to be talking to them all morning to see what the conditions are looking like. If it's raining tomorrow, this horse will be on my do not bet list because of that reason. The two races, right? So I told you I had 6 starts, 2 wins, 2/3. The 2 races that aren't showing up on there are 2 races that were messy conditions. Horse finished in the bottom third of the pack. All right, so keep that in mind. All right, another horse here, Sun Thunder. Brian Hernandez Jr. is the jockey. Ken McPeak is the trainer. This horse doesn't intrigue me too much. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this. We're looking at 6 starts, 1 win, 1 second, 1/3, 3 no places or no shows. Speed figure is very low here. This horse is a closer. The problem for this horse is that it's going to be too far back and it might not have enough gas to actually close out the race. All right, so don't spend a ton of time worrying about this horse. I'm not a fan. I do think that the horse will finish in the top 10 of the race because of that closing ability. The problem is I don't think there's going to be enough stamina in the tank, and I don't think he's going to be close enough to the top of the pack to actually be able to go and surpass them. All right, so not a huge fan here, but interesting note, the horse will be having blinkers on or blinders on during the race. Hasn't had them on in the past, so look for that to focus the horse a little bit. That's what they're used for. But again, I don't think that the closing ability of this horse will be able to withstand some of these other better horses in the race. Okay? All right. Now let's talk about one of my absolute favorites, and I hate the post position. I hate the 14 post. Very, very hard to come out of the 14 spot. All right? But Angel of Empire is one of my absolute favorites this year. Okay? Angel of Empire and Tapit Trice are my 2 big ones right now. But Angel of Empire is by far my favorite. Okay? I'm going to tell you why. You got Brad Cox trained horse. Very, very good trainer. And you got Flavian Pratt on the reins. I love me some Flavian Pratt. Okay? This horse has 6 starts, 4 wins, 1 second place. So that's the horse, the other one, the Sun Thunder, is the one that comes from our area. That's pretty cool. All right. Let me tell you why I love me some Angel of Empire, okay? This is a closing horse, okay? This is one of those horses that will close the gap at the end and just speed by people, okay? Look for this horse to sit middle of the pack towards maybe the front of that pack for most of the race and then just explode out with a great speed score, all right? A 106, one of the highest in the entire race. What's going on, SJ? What's going on, Chris? Come on, go up on the screen. There we go. All right, Angel of Empire, though, one of my favorite horses, okay? Has done in quite a few races at the 1.25 mile length and has fared... Angel of Empire is from PA. See, this is the thing. I don't even know. Listen, if Angel of Empire... I'm telling you right now, there's going to be a big outright bet on Angel of Empire. If that horse wins, I'm going to go to the stable, and I'm going to go pet the horse, okay? I have connections. I can get into the stable. I'm going to go, and I'm going to go just show that horse how much I love that horse, okay? But Angel of Empire is one of my favorites, has raced quite a few races at this distance, and has performed very, very well. In the most recent race... at this length, won by 4.25 horse lengths. Okay, 4.25 is a lot. All right. Jay said, keep in mind, almost all these colts are from single Grade 1 winners. Forte, the morning line favorite, is a 4-time Grade 1 stakes winner on a 5-race tear. Public, yeah. All right. I'll get into Forte in a minute here. I'll get into Forte here in a minute. But Angel of Empire, one of my favorites. Okay, one of my favorites. And we're going to go right over to Forte right now. Do yourself a favor. Don't bet on Forte. Okay? Don't do it. Not a fan of Forte. All right? I don't think Forte wins this race. Call me crazy. Forte doesn't even show in this race. Forte finishes maybe 4th, 5th, or lower. All right? Not top 3 from Forte. Great horse, great trainer, great jockey. The trainer's Todd Pletcher. The jockey's Irad Ortiz. Yeah. You got great people on the horse. The problem, all right? This horse, 7 starts, 6 wins. Great. Sounds good, yeah. Speed figure, 106. Very, very good. Same as Angel of Empire. Sounds good, yeah. Here's my problem with this horse. This horse has qualified for the race by competing in garbage level races. Okay? Yes, they are Kentucky Derby qualifying races. The problem is the level of competition in those races is abysmal. All right? There's one other horse that this horse has run against in the qualifying races that is actually in the Derby. Okay? So it's been competing against lower level competition and just blowing them out of the water. When this horse does compete against other horses, doesn't fare so well. All right. Now, I do think the horse will be leading early, but look for like an Angel of Empire and some of these other closers to come through and shove Forte right out of the way. I will say, again, very good trainer, very good horse, very good jockey. But if this horse does not get out early, this horse will not place even remotely close to the top. All right, so this horse is going to have to get out from that outside early, okay? I don't think it will. That's why I'm not a fan of Forte. Call me crazy. Not a fan. All right, Raise Kane, another one here. I'm not going to spend too much time on for 2 reasons. Same reason as some of the other ones. The jockeys, Geraldo Corrales. Trainers, Ben Colebrook, 7 starts, 2 wins, 1 second, 1 third. The problem here is, again, this is another horse that's a closing horse, but with a low speed figure. I don't think the horse is going to be able to maintain keeping up with that pack and then having enough stamina to close it out. This is another example of look for the horse to be sitting about 12th, 13th, come in, maybe place top 10, but not enough speed to actually make a push to even show up on the podium. All right? Not going to spend a ton of time there. All right. Interesting horse coming up. In the 17, Derma Sotogake. Jockey's Christophe Lemaire, and the trainer is Hidetaka Otonashi. 8 starts, 4 wins, 2 thirds. This is an interesting horse, okay? Because this is a Japanese horse. All right, no Japanese horse has ever won the Derby. Is this the year? Well, degen loves him some Derma Sotogake this year, okay? This horse is one that likes to set the pace early on, all right? The thing here is this horse actually has stamina to back up the pace setting, all right? The only problem here is that, it's not it's most of the horse, every horse that's won, American-based horses. I do like Derma Sotogake, though, a lot here. Look for this horse to place well in this race. I think this horse is going to get out early, and it's going to be leading the pack. And then look for those horses to come in and try to close in on the horse. If they can't close, look for this horse to win, but I do think this horse will be out early. Long shots that Biff said, long shots that you like are Raise Kane and Derma, maybe Skinner. All right, Biff, I don't think you were here when I said it. I went over Skinner already. Skinner was one of my absolute favorite horses coming into this race. Skinner's been scratched as of this morning. So Skinner will not be in the race. Scratched due to elevated temperature. I literally saw the notification and the article come up as I was doing the show. So Skinner's not in the race. Okay? But was one of my favorite horses. I had a big fan for Skinner. All right. Next, we're going to move over to Rocket Can. What a name. If you're betting on names alone, this is the one, right? Rocket Can. I mean, come on. Jockey is Junior Alvarado. Trainer Bill Mott. Career record 7 starts, 2 wins, 2 seconds, 3 obviously non-placed ones. I think this horse here has very good stamina. The speed figure is average. It's 99. Not great. But I think this horse is going to do well if it can be kept out of traffic. Okay? This horse does not fare well when it's in traffic around a ton of other people. The one positive for this horse is that it's coming off the outside, so it can avoid some of that unless it gets into the traffic. That's one of the biggest problems. Stamina-wise, good. And this is also going to be another one that this is going to be the first race with blinders on, all right, to improve the focus. But that should help the traffic problem a little bit. This horse just gets a little bit spooked when the traffic comes, all right? So I think this horse is going to run well. Maybe a long shot here. I have it listed as a long shot. The horse could win if it gets out nice and early, avoids traffic, and then runs well throughout the pace. But not one of my favorites, but a potential to be a top finisher. Again, I need to see what comes as of today, tomorrow, things like that. All right. So the next horse we're going to talk about, you're going to see a big jump. We went from 18 to 21. Why? Well, Lord Miles was the 19 post horse, was scratched yesterday. Why were they scratched? Well, Safi Joseph is the trainer, and Safi Joseph had 2 horses that were that died in the stables unexpectedly. The Churchill Downs Commission banned him, suspended him from the race this year. Okay, so this horse is scratched. Continuar is another one. This was another Japanese horse, but that horse is also being scratched due to the trainer saying that the horse wasn't performing well or something, or wasn't up to standards. I have it on the next slide. I'll tell you what it was. So we're going to forget that horse. All right. Now we have Cyclone Mischief at 30 to 1. The jockey is Corey Lineri, trainer Dale Romans. 7 starts, 2 wins, 3 third places. Good speed figure at 101. The problem here is it's another horse that likes to get out quick, but does not have stamina for the runner. All right. It does have, if you want to talk about bloodlines, we're talking, there are stamina in the bloodlines, but this horse does not have the same stamina. All right. This horse is not raced on anything over 1 mile and a 16th. So, 3/16 of a mile shorter than what the Derby's going to be. This horse may be out early, going to fade to the back pretty quickly. All right. Not going to spend too much time there. The next horse is Mandarin Hero. All right, this is another one. We're looking at a Japanese horse here. I don't even know how to say some of these names. The jockey is Kazushi Kimura, and the trainer is Tenurobu Fujita. 6 starts, 4 wins, 2 seconds. Sounds really good. This horse has a chance. All right, good speed figure, 105. Has the pace type of likes to sit in the middle of the pack and then jump out. So this could be an interesting move here. I'm going to be watching this horse throughout the day. But this is another horse with bad racing. What's it called? This is another horse with bad racing history. They haven't raced against many good horses. This horse did race against Practical Move, and it did race against Skinner and lost to both of those. All right, so just keep that in mind. Obviously, Skinner and Practical Move have both been scratched from this race, but this horse has some potential, and I will be keeping my eye on this horse very, very closely. All right, final horse here, King Russell. Not going to spend a ton of time talking about this horse. It's another closer. It's another one that I think is going to be in the middle of the pack. It may make a push at the end, but it's not going to be enough to catch the top horses coming through. Not a great speed figure. Not a real fan of this horse. Not going to spend too much time. All right. Has come on the board in the past 3 horses. Came in first and I think 2 seconds. But overall, not a great horse here, okay? Scratches, all right? Practical Move had the fever. Lord Miles, yes, I did see that. King Russell finished second to Angel of Empire in the Arkansas Derby, but nah. Angel of Empire is going to blow him out of the water. Just saying that, all right? What am I saying here? Mandarin not winning a good class. I'm saying that the horse hasn't competed in many top level races. Another one like Forte, racing in lower level races. I mean, there's still Kentucky Derby qualifying races, but going up against Practical Move and Skinner didn't. It came in second to Practical Move, just nudged out Skinner. So I'm saying I do like that horse potentially though. Best trainer and jockey combo. That's a good question. I think you're going to be looking at. I mean, your best trainers are going to be Todd Pletcher, Brad Cox, Baffert. Obviously, there's a question mark and an asterisk next to his name. And then, I mean, Pletcher and Cox are going to be your two top ones, if you ask me, at this current moment. Obviously, Baffert would be in there. In terms of jockeys, I mean, you know, there's some very good jockeys. Franco's a pretty good jockey. Tyler Gaffleone's a very good jockey with Brad Cox. Luis Saez and Pletcher are very good together. Ortiz and Pletcher are very good together. So those, I mean, it's a tough call. Honestly, it's tough for me to even say. I would say I give Pletcher a slight nod over Cox. In terms of jockeys, though, I mean, there's like top 5 jockeys, top 6 jockeys you'd be looking at. Velasquez, Castellano, Saez, Ortiz. Those are your guys. So, I mean, I guess one of my favorite horses is going to be Saez and Pletcher. All right. So, I guess because I like Tapit Trice. So, Saez and Pletcher. Yeah, that would probably be. I mean, you have Florian Giroux and Brad Cox, who are another good one. They're racing on Jaces Road, so that could be a good one there. And then another one is Pratt and Cox with Angel of Empire. So I don't know. It's a tough call. I think one of those 6 though. So not really your best answer, but there you go. Practical Move had the fever. Lord Miles had their trainer suspended for the unexpected deaths that happened in the stables. Continuar, the trainer decided that the horse wasn't fit enough. And then Skinner was obviously out today because of the elevated temperature. Yeah, so this is the thing, right, Biff? I don't really like jockey and trainer are important. And I do look at them, but I don't base my betting on who the jockey and who the trainer are. You know, are there jockeys I'll stay away from? Yeah, but there's not a jockey that I'm going to bet on just because the jockey's in the race. It depends on the horse itself. The other problem you have to think of, too, is that some of these jockeys ride the same horse a lot. Some of them don't, right? So some of these horses may be like the second time the jockey's riding them. So, you know. Yeah. All right. Here you go, John. I'm coming up to it right now. Now, unfortunately, this is going to be out of date because I have Skinner in there, but obviously didn't do too well. Up here, please read. I will post final horses tomorrow. Again, scratches can happen continuously, so do keep that in mind. John likes, in order, Angel of Empire, Tapit Trice, 2 Fills, Reincarnate, and Forte. My top 3 are Angel of Empire, Tapit Trice, and Derma Sotogake. All right, Skinner was in there, but obviously not anymore. So my top 3 are going to be Angel of Empire, Tapit Trice, and Derma Sotogake. All right, so Again, tomorrow I will tell you who I like. Rocket Can. Again, I went over this horse already. Hit show, if it can get out off the rail, potential. And then Mandarin Hero now is going to be a potential for me as well, because now the horse is obviously in the race. So I'm going to be doing some watching on that horse to see how like the little practice runs go and some other things. But Mandarin Hero might get in here as well. Okay. So again, tomorrow I will put the horses in there. The race starts at 6:57 p.m. Eastern time. I will put my horses in there around 5 o'clock. Okay. Around 5. All right. Yes, this is a fact. Derby has come from the 5 spot more often than any other spot. Who's in the 5 spot? Tapit Trice, one of my favorites. All right. When will I post my final? Like I said, around 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock tomorrow. I will post my final assessments. Usually by that time, you're not going to see any scratches or anything like that. And if there is a scratch in those horses, I will let you know as soon as I know. But yeah, I'm also going to have, like I told you, I have some friends down there going to be talking about the weather. I also want to see how the horses are walking around and other things. So yeah, I'd go to the Derby, but I have some other things to do on Saturday night and Sunday, family things, so I can't be there. But I'd love to be there. One of my goals to go. I have been to the Preakness before. But yeah. All right. Yeah, that's pretty much the end of my show. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in chat right now, and I will try to answer them. Otherwise, again, get excited for the Derby, everybody. It's going to be a great race. Like John said, the most exciting 2 minutes in sports. It is exhilarating. Like I said, I will be on the couch for the first half mile, starting to creep to the edge of the couch. And then after that, I will be standing up, rooting for my horse. All right. Here you go. Here's JR's picks. 15, the 8, the 17 and 4, 5, 8, 17, 3, 4, 5, 8, 17. The 8th spot is Mage. Mage is in the 8th spot. So I did say I like Mage. Has potential. Has a great jockey on him in Javier Castellano. So that's your question with the jockey thing. I do like this horse quite a bit. So potential there. 8 is the Mage in 8. And then if anyone cares, my lucky number is 18, which is Rocket Can. So there will be a small bet put on Rocket Can just because it's my lucky number. But yeah. Ooh. Oops. Screen jumped. All right. Any other questions? I don't see too many things coming in right now. But if you guys have them, put them in. And if not, I will talk to you guys tomorrow. I will post today's picks in Discord in a little bit. All right. I didn't put them up on here because I just wanted to talk about the Derby. But if you have any other questions about the Derby, you can hit me up on Discord. You guys know where to find me, Dice DJ and Chris. Or if you don't have Discord and you still want to talk to me about it, you can email me and I will respond back, dicedegen@gmail.com. Otherwise, guys, hope you have a great weekend. And go horses. My picks will be out tomorrow. All right. I can tell you right now, provided no scratches, Angel of Empire and Tapit Trice are my 2 guys to go to. But Derma Sotogake, great horse, and Mage is another one, and Mandarin Hero potentially as well. So stay tuned for that, guys. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And yeah, that's true. That's a very, very good point, actually. Not the best betting opportunities for sure. If you really want to make money horse betting, your best bets are to stick to the local races and stuff like that. It does require a lot more time, a lot more research and investigation, but these are fun, and I figured I'd do a show on it, so yeah. But don't worry, there will be shows for this. Obviously, I just did it. The Preakness will have one. The Belmont will have one. I'll break them all down the same exact way. All right. So, yep. Appreciate that, Jay. And I'm going to get out of here, guys. So hope you guys have a great rest of your day, great weekend, and enjoy the horses tomorrow. Maybe I'll be in Discord. If you're in Discord, maybe I'll be in the room on the voice. Maybe I'll put my video on. You can see what I'm doing during the horse racing.
So if you want to do that, let me know. But have a great weekend, everyone, and I will see you soon. Peace.